All right, everybody, I hope that you are doing well. Today, I want to talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart. So, obviously, you've heard me talk to ad nauseum about why I got into this business, or it's not even a business for me, why I got into this hobby of collecting, and that is for conservation. The reason why I started this YouTube channel is I wanted to show people that you can help be part of this conservatory effort, but on a budget. So I don't have a whole lot of expendable income to utilize for any sort of hobby. So I want to show you, I allow myself about $100 a month. Some months I don't have any, but allow myself about $100 a month. And with that, in a very short period of time, I have been able to collect this. And then you've seen the other ones I have as well. I want to share with you how I was able to do that and how that you are able to do that, and maybe even save a little bit more and do a little less than $100 a month. So with that, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to show you everything that I got, price points on it, and so that you can emulate that. So first thing is, I've talked about this in videos in the past, is these baskets. Now, a regular net basket, I'll come down here, a regular net basket can cost you, anywhere, depending on the size, between $7-8 all the way to $20, $25, $30. These baskets are, I believe I looked it up, they held over a gallon. And these are pond baskets that you use if you have like pond plants and you don't want them floating around or getting dirt all in your pond. And they serve as a perfect net basket. As you can see, Nepenthes need a lot of aeration on the soil, and so these baskets allow just for that. And they are a cheap alternative that absolutely work fantastic. I keep a lot of my more epiphytic Nepenthes like truncata, Rob Cantley in them, and they do very well. So that's one way you can save. Now, I've talked about the moss, or the sphagnum moss. This isn't this high quality New Zealand moss. You can get New Zealand moss, but it is going to run you a pretty penny. So what I get is what's called orchid moss, and I've talked about that in other videos. And you can get that at any big box store, home improvement store, and it runs you about $6 for a brick. And then the perlite that I use, is organic perlite, it costs you about $3. So far, just in total, obviously not counting the plant, but the basket with this probably ran me about $5 in total, because remember the medium. So one of those bricks in that perlite bag will fill up 2 to 3 of these. So that we have that. Now, as far as growing conditions, you can grow Nepenthes very easily in your home, so that will save you on a cost. But even for a tent this size, which is a 4x8 by 7, this only ran me $80 on Amazon. And it is an absolutely fantastic tent. The smaller one that I have, which is a 4x4 by 7, was, I believe, $45. So very reasonable price, and it does a fantastic job keeping everything humid, everything growing conditions nice. Now again, you don't even need a grow tent, so you can save on that cost as well. I happen to have a grow tent specifically because I don't have any room in my shed, my house. I have an extra shed in the backyard that wasn't serving any purposes, so I put the grow tent in there, and it became my little area for my plants. Now it's going to get a little darker in here, but I want to show this light to you, and I don't want to absolutely just blast you with light. Now, light, you can go and spend a ton of money on different lights. So there are lights like FluoroWave and Mars Hydro, and you can spend, upwards $200, $300, $400, $500, $600. I have these lights, and I've had them now for about a year, and they're called Ficida, and they have fantastic reviews. I keep my humidity in here about 75%, 70%, and they do just fine in the humidity. I get these from Amazon, and they are adjustable. I won't turn it on because I don't want to flash this light in your face. But they get very, very bright, and they are connecting, right? So this light cost $45 on Amazon. $45. They will connect, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that back on. And they are adjustable, and that's what's so cool about them. My fans have run very cheap. So this is just a basic floor fan. It's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but it works. And then I also have these fans down here and one right here. These are $20 on Amazon. The wall rack, I get a lot of questions about that. This rack, I bought at a yard sale for a few bucks, but you can get racks similar to this that are made for grow tents, and what they'll do is they fasten to the side of the rails there, and you can get those relatively cheap. To be honest, I don't know the exact price range, but I know they're between $20 and $40. Now, some of the other pots that you see in here, you see writing on them. Of course, I actually get these from local nurseries, and here's a hint or a tip for you. A lot of times Lowe's and Home Depot, well, Lowe's specifically, will throw out a lot of their old discarded pots. And so if you talk to the garden center, you can go to the back and they have them there, and they're there for the taking. So a little helpful hint, and then you just poke holes in them as you need, and they grow Nepenthes just fine. Now, last but not least, I'll talk about humidity. Humidifiers, you can spend a ton of money on them, but there is no reason to do so. If you grow them in your home, simply having a tray of water and then having your pots sit up higher off the tray so they're not sitting in the water is a great alternative. But you can also buy a humidifier very cheap. So I don't even turn this one on, believe it or not, very often. This little guy right here would run me, I think it was $20. But this thing is a large room humidifier, and it holds about a gallon of water, and it puts out a ton of humidity. That's why I have to keep it off, because it will absolutely get everything soaking wet if I have it on even the lowest setting. So yeah, I guess you can guess where I got this from, Amazon. Now, as far as plants, right, that's the big money spender, if you will. Now, admittedly, there are 3 plants in here that I have spent more than a month's worth of budget. Those were special birthday presents and stuff like that. But everything else that you see in here, I purchased well within that $100 budget. Some of the things you can do for the people who don't mind waiting and don't need instant gratification like myself is you can buy plants small. So buying these little seedlings, these little plants, will allow you to buy them much, much cheaper. And so a lot of these plants I bought so like this came from Carnivorous. I believe it was $20. Also Carnivorous, $20. Some of these, when I bought them, were smaller, $20, $15. In addition, I buy them from Predatory Plants, and so you get them much cheaper there. Now, you can go all out. Some of these plants you can spend, hundreds and hundreds of dollars. It's not necessary, right? Most of all the plants you see in here, save these big ones right here, I got for under $100. The majority of them I got for really cheap, 15, 20 bucks, mainly maybe 30, 40 bucks at the high end. The other thing that you can do, and this is really exciting and something that I'm going to give a shot here this month, is seedlings. Carnivorous right now, not seedlings, sorry, seeds. Carnivorous right now is selling seeds. And so for $15, you get a pod, which is 25 to 40 seeds in each. Now, carnivorous plants have a very high strike rate, which is surprising, right? You would think that they would, being so exotic looking, that they would be tough to get going, but they're not. Now, Nepenthes are a little bit more tough. So if you have like the sundews, they have like almost an 80% strike rate. So these are a little bit tougher to grow, but by no means are they difficult. So that's another option you can do. Cuttings, Todd's Tropicals sells a lot of cuttings at a very cheap price. This one right here, I believe was 20, 30 bucks, but it's almost that plant's probably 2 years old right there. So anyways, I digress. There is plenty of ways to grow these things cheap. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is for this reason. If you're like me and you don't have a whole lot of money to spend on this hobby, but you want to make a difference, You want to add to the conservatorship of these plants. You want to just grow them because they're beautiful and they're fun to have. It's easy to do at a reasonable price that will not set you back. And maybe you don't have $100 to spend each month, and that's okay. You can get plants for 15, 20 bucks, especially the smaller ones, and just start slow with your collection. Or again, try seeds. It takes a little bit more time, but you'll get a lot for your money. So $15 pod, you may end up getting 20 plants to produce. I mean, that's a very, very, very cheap price for plants. And then you can sell them on eBay and start your collection like that. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it went a little longer than I wanted it to, but I hope this inspires you to collect. You don't have to have those big budgets to buy these really expensive, crazy plants for several $100,000. You can enjoy this hobby at a budget. You guys have a wonderful day. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.